Was Justin Bieber abused and groomed by P. Diddy and maybe Usher too? That is the question that we are asking today.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, you know, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream. You know, I have been given custody of him. You know, he signed to Usher.
I'm signed to Usher.
I had legal guardianship of Usher when you know he did his first album. I did Usher's first album. I don't have legal guardianship of him, but for the next 48 hours, he's with me. So and we gonna go full crazy.
I'm going crazy.
Crazy.
I'm taking this out tonight.
What you want to do? What you want to do over the next 48 hours?
48 hours. Let's go. Let's just go get some girls. Let's go get some girls.
Man.
Okay, by now you probably know that P. Diddy has been arrested on federal racketeering and sex trafficking charges. He's being accused of everything from arson to kidnapping, and authorities have outlined these shocking activities that were allegedly carried out by him and his so-called criminal enterprise. We've heard about the white parties and the baby oil that was found in his house, like in bulk. And it's just, the details are getting more and more wild. There are details about of course, the crazy sex parties and then people being drugged at his parties and in his home and being forced to do vulnerable, gross acts while they're under the influence. So today we're going to take a dive into the speculations that Justin Bieber in particular was perhaps abused by P. Diddy. And I think this is an interesting part of the story because it really shows Diddy's alleged proclivity to abuse minors, and how many adults knew about it, which of course plays into the bigger question of how predatory Hollywood is, particularly to vulnerable minors, to young artists, to young actors. So in the indictment brought against Diddy, it said that he has abused, threatened, and coerced to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. And that's a direct quote. And you know by now that powerful men like Diddy, they always prey on the more vulnerable. And the two groups that are the most vulnerable are, of course, minors, children, and women. And of course, there is the harrowing footage, which I'm not going to show because it's absolutely terrible, of Diddy beating his ex because it's pure abuse, and I don't think we need to be looking at that anymore. And I hope she gets justice from that horrific situation. So of course, if you're going to see videos like of Diddy of abusing women, of course you're going to allegedly, I have to keep saying allegedly, he's going to probably be abusing minors. So first, let's recap Justin Bieber's rise to fame, because I think if you're a millennial, you watched a lot of Justin Bieber grow up, but may not remember a lot of the details. So it all started by Justin's mom posting YouTube videos of him singing, playing guitar, covering famous songs. And apparently she didn't really think much of it. She just thought, oh, my son's talented. I want some people to see him. And it blew up from there. So after posting these videos, Justin Bieber was discovered by famous music manager Scooter Braun, and that happened in 2007. He signed a record deal with Braun in 2009, and Bieber quickly released his first single called One Time, which he then turned into his first album, quickly became a hit. However, it wasn't really until his second album called Baby when he was fully catapulted into fame. And I think that's when most people remember Justin Bieber coming out. His super popular song called Baby, it reached #1 on the Billboard charts, and from there his music career really took off. In 2012, Bieber was named Artist of the Year at the American Music Awards. By 2015, he had won his first Grammy for the song Where Are You Now? And by the time he was 18 years old, his net worth was $40 million. Outside of his music career, his long on and off relationship with Selena Gomez made fans even more obsessed with him. And if you were alive in the 2010s, you probably remember the buzz all about them. His story appeared to seem like one that many kids would dream of. He had the fame, the fortune, he had the cute girl, and seemed like he had everything. But I think what most people don't understand is just how much it affects you to grow up under this level of scrutiny and the paparazzi following you everywhere, fans being obsessed with you, and then of course Hollywood really honestly abusing you, mistreating you. We're going to see some footage of that in a minute. There were many public moments, public moments on stage in front of cameras where Justin Bieber was sexualized as a child, as a minor. A lot of inappropriate things were done to him and said to him, which is perfectly indicative of how predatory Hollywood is. A lot of this footage, I can't even believe they aired, like at award shows and in interviews and stuff. It was just so incredibly inappropriate. And I just did a video recently on Hayden Panettiere, her interview with People magazine. And I talked a lot about her tragic upbringing as a child star. She started acting when she was 11 months old. People like Amanda Bynes. It is extremely rare for child stars to go through Hollywood and not experience some kind of abuse in multiple ways.
Wow. I feel violated right now. Wow.
Lean into me again. You smell amazing. How old are you?
Thank you.
How old are you?
I'm 16. I'll be 17 in like 2 weeks.
Ever remember smelling that good at 16? Like that was bad.
Yeah.
Wow, look at your eyes. What music are you listening to?
Would you rather have to be naked on stage during one full song, or drink a cup of blended worms? Answer, Justin Bieber.
I have like little girl fans. I can't go.
Okay, never gave me the sex talk. Okay. So why don't you give me the sex talk? I don't understand. I feel uncomfortable right now. Oh, why do I know the sex talk from a 15-year-old boy? That's pretty weird. Oh, talk about the album.
Another time he was asked if he liked French girls because they had big boobs in an interview. And not only was he pointedly asked about sex, but many adults also commented on his appearance at a young age. In one interview, he was told he had beautiful lips by an adult. Another time, Katy Perry hugged him on some stage and grabbed his butt and said that she just wanted to know what Bieber's butt felt like. So if all of this is happening in public, okay, if all of this is happening in front of the cameras, what do you think is happening behind the scenes when nobody is looking? Just using common sense. If we're seeing all of this happen right now, okay, not right now, but back then in front of the camera, there has to be something more happening behind the scenes. And of course, the first thing that comes to my mind as a mom is, where is his mother? His mother was voluntarily putting him into these situations, allowing him to hang out with these predatory adults in this predatory industry. So then there was Justin and P. Diddy. Justin initially signed with Usher's record label at just 15 years old, and that's when he quickly became involved with the Caught Up crew, which featured P. Diddy. And Diddy apparently took on a mentorship role towards Justin, and the two made a YouTube video about their time together.
Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, where we hanging out and what we doing.
Justin's smile is one of terror. He doesn't know what's happening. It's extremely uncomfortable. I showed the full video earlier, and Diddy says, I used to have legal guardianship of Usher, which I didn't know that until recently, but apparently he had legal guardianship of Usher when Usher was a minor. And he's like, and now I have 48 hours as a guardian of Justin Bieber. That is so creepy. So creepy. Why would his mother allow him to go hang out with Diddy even before all of the allegations came out many years ago? Like, as a mom, that still doesn't make any sense to me that you would just send your son to go hang out with him. So over the next few years, Justin got a little older. He started partying. There are lots of videos of him hanging with the Diddy crew, drinking, obviously under the influence. And this is really the start of Justin's era when he was getting into addiction, substance abuse, and it's actually really tragic.
Welcome to the family, John.
Or maybe he's just over 18, but he's young. This is classic Hollywood. This is what happens when you become an adult. That's the scene that you step into 9.9 times out of 10. And that includes even as a kid, as a teenager. That is a scene you step into. So Justin later admitted in his life that he started smoking weed when he was only 12 or 13 years old. In the early 2010s, Justin's substance abuse and behavioral issues were pushed into the spotlight by tabloids and paparazzi. A brutal catalog of his offenses is still easily searchable. I mean, he was caught egging his neighbor's house, urinating in a restaurant mop bucket, partying in a Brazilian brothel, catching a DUI for drag racing a Lamborghini, buying a pet monkey that was seized at customs in Germany. In addition to discussing these past issues, Bieber opened up about his more private struggle with Xanax abuse. He talked about his addiction, and he described how drugs were what he used to drown out the shame and humiliation that he felt about his life choices and to help him cope with depression. Scooter Braun, his longtime manager, said that between the ages of 19 to 12 was his, quote, dark period. Braun said, he's gone through a lot in a very short life. You don't always agree with someone's decisions in that moment. They're young people making decisions that affect a lot of people. And sometimes in those scenarios, you're going to make the right decision and sometimes you're going to make the wrong one. There's another quote from Justin himself. He said, drugs put a screen between me and what I was doing. It got pretty dark. I think there were times when my security was coming in late at night to check my pulse and see if I was still breathing. That is wild. That's crazy. And I think we kind of forget when you thrust kids into a scene like this is a very common experience for them. So basically right after this period, Justin released his fourth studio album called Purpose. And this was a sort of like rebirth for his career. I think a lot of us remember him coming out again with some more music. And it was a turning point because he wrote some very raw songs about losing his purpose, finding it again. He was more open about his faith. This is the part of his career that was very closely related to his Christian beliefs. He started going to a Hillsong church, which I'm not going to do a deep dive into Hillsong. I could. Around 2013, started going to Hillsong. He was baptized by Carl Lentz in 2014. Carl Lentz was the leader of Hillsong Church, New York. And there is a lot of stuff that subsequently came out about Carl Lentz. I'm not really going to go into it now because I'm just not going to go into it now. If you've been to my channel before, you know, I think these religious pockets of culture are really interesting. I have a master of theological studies and really interested in these particularly pockets of Christianity. But anyway, Justin opened up about his faith. He was baptized, I think, in some famous person's pool. And Carl Lentz was later down the line, he was accused of having many affairs. I think there was some situations of coercion and assault. I'm not sure, but definitely having many affairs and cheating on his wife. Anyway, so the songs on this album, Purpose, had lyrics that were really different from any other songs that Justin had ever put out before. For example, the song Life is Worth Living. Here are some of the lyrics. God sent an angel to help you out. He gave you direction, shows you how to read a map with a long journey ahead, said it ain't over. Oh, even in the midst of doubt, life is worth living. Life is worth living, so live another day. The meaning of forgiveness. People make mistakes, doesn't mean you have to give in. Life is worth living again. And I don't know if you remember that now very famous music video that accompanied this song. These two beautiful dancers performed in this just bare room to the song, and it was beautiful. It was really moving. And there's another song called Lonely that came out in 2020. When he sings the song live, you can just really see the deep emotion that is pouring out of him. So I'll show you the performance. I can't play it because of copyright. The lyrics are, everybody saw me sick and it felt like no one gave a shit. They criticized the things I did as an idiot kid. What if you had it all and nobody to call? And he's obviously, this is a very emotional thing for him. Maybe then you'd know me. And okay, he says, 'cause I've had everything, but no one's listening. And that's just effing lonely. So a lot of people are sharing these performances by Justin in the past. And no matter what your opinions are on Justin Bieber, whether you love him or hate him, you can't deny that there is some kind of deep emotion that is pouring out of him in these performances. They're very raw. They're an expression, in my opinion, of something very dark that he has experienced. There's also an interview where Justin talked about wanting to protect Billie Eilish. They're 8 years apart in age. This was in 2020. Billie was only 18 years old. Justin was 26 years old. And he talked about wanting to protect her from the things that he experienced.
I just want to protect her, you know? I don't want her to lose it. I don't want her to go through anything I went through. I don't wish that upon anybody.
Again, another moment that is pretty raw. A lot pouring out of him, it seems to me when I watch that. It seems very genuine. It seems like he went through something. That's what it looks like to me. And we obviously don't know the details of how involved Diddy was with Justin throughout these years. But there was another video from 2010 that resurfaced recently when Diddy saw Justin. It seems like it's in the recording studio, and he said some uncomfortable things about how like Justin doesn't call him anymore.
It's good. It's selling out arenas and everything. It's starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, you know, through all my, partners and whatnot. But you never really got my number, so.
Right. Okay.
My number?
Yeah.
Okay, there are only 2 videos that we have of Diddy and Justin. And is it just me, or does Justin Bieber look wildly uncomfortable in both of these videos? He does not look like he wants to be there. Doesn't look like he really wants to be talking to Diddy. So there are a lot of people online who are just convinced that Justin was abused and perhaps even assaulted by Diddy multiple times when he was a kid. I'm not going to get graphic about what people are speculating, but there are a lot of speculations going around right now. And it is so sad that Justin went through this addiction and party phase. And he was branded as this unhinged kid for a long time. He was really battling that public image of being the screw up, the one who was like, there was even a story, I think, of him on some sort of pyramids or ruins like in Mexico or something. And he was doing these really idiotic things as a kid. But really, I believe him to be a victim of abuse. I'm happy for him now. He seems to be doing well. He married Hailey Bieber. They had their first child, a son named Jack, and he seems to be in a much better place. And I hope he's able to keep his faith strong, because it seems to be something that really carried him through these difficult times. But Justin Bieber, I think, has had a really good outcome considering how much he was exposed to at a really young age. And today, in the headlines, it says that Justin Bieber is focused on being a great dad and husband after Diddy's arrest. He's not commenting on the situation. He is not getting involved. And People calls Diddy Justin's friend and longtime collaborator. But it says that Justin is keeping things centered around his wife, Hailey, their baby son, Jack Blues, whose birth was announced in August. The source tells People that Justin was aware of Diddy's arrest and all the allegations, but it's not something that Justin wants to focus on right now. I don't blame him. Why focus on it? A really exciting time in his life. He has a new baby. But then it brings us to the question of Usher and Diddy, okay? Because Usher is part of the equation here. Usher is the way that Diddy even got in touch with Justin Bieber. Allegedly, Usher was the connection between them. Allegedly, Diddy was trying to reach out to Justin Bieber, wanted to be involved with him when he first came onto the scene after I believe it was after his second album, Baby. Diddy was trying to get in touch with him, and Usher was the connector between the two. Usher is essentially the reason why Justin Bieber had those 48 hours with Diddy, because Usher connected them. And going back to what we said earlier, Diddy claimed that he was a legal guardian of Usher when he was a minor at some point. So just a little bit of background, Usher did his first album when he was only 15 years old. The album was called Usher. It came out in 1994. Diddy was the executive producer of that album and handled most of the production.
Moved to New York City. And I lived with Sean Puffy Combs for a year.
That's the crazy thing. Now, that was L.A. Reid's idea, right? We're sending you over to something called Puffy Flavor Camp.
There you go.
To learn
So Puffy Flavor Camp. Okay, Puffy Flavor Camp. Usher was a minor at this point, okay? Puffy Flavor Camp. Now, knowing everything that we know about Diddy and all the things found in his house, like the baby oil, all of these allegations of him drugging people, Puffy Flavor Camp sounds like the absolute last place on planet Earth that you would want to send your kid.
Camp. Yeah, that's what it was called. And you're going to go to Puff Daddy's. He's going
in the 90s. Do you understand what that's like?
Puffy's place was like just filled with chicks and orgying like nonstop, right?
No, not really. I mean, but hey, it was curious. I got a chance to see some things.
Yeah, but you were 13. What were you seeing?
I went there to see the lifestyle.
Right.
13 years old. He's like, oh, I saw some things at 13 years old. This blows my mind. It really does. Again, where are his parents? The parents are really the main people to blame here because they are the ones who were sending their children, their young children, into these homes. I mean, even if back then, before all the allegations came out, even before we know a lot of the things that we know about Hollywood today, don't your antennas just go up as a mom and as a father? You're like, some strange guy's house, some famous dude. Maybe I should hand over my 13-year-old son to go visit them and see what's going on. I mean, people have always known since the dawn of time that famous, powerful men, like degenerate, debaucherous things happen wherever they are, especially in their home.
And I saw it, and it was, but I don't know if I could indulge and understand what I was even looking at. It was pretty wild.
So nobody tried to, some woman didn't come along.
I ain't say that.
Okay.
So did Diddy groom Usher in addition to Justin? This is the question that everyone is asking. We obviously don't know the answer for sure, but I think we kind of all know the answer. I think what we're all speculating is probably within the realm of truth and what actually happened. So who else knew? That's another question. Well, so far what we know is that Usher has wiped his social media accounts clean. Headline, Usher raises eyebrows as his ex account appears to be wiped clean after Diddy's sex crimes arrest. Now, after this happened, Usher came out and claimed that his account was hacked. Okay, that's a really opportune time. Like we saw the video, Usher has previously spoken about his time spent with Diddy, once admitting that he saw very curious things while staying in the music mogul's home. But his ex account is just wiped clean, and he's not the only one. Pink, the singer Pink, her ex account is also stripped, sparking some speculation after Diddy's arrest. Despite neither being connected to the case, it's always very suspicious when celebrities start to wipe their social media accounts clean. That, it reminds me of the Chrissy Teigen thing where she deleted 60,000 tweets of a certain nature, the P word nature. I don't even think I can say that word on my channel. I'm already shadow banned and been demonetized before, but you know what I'm saying. When these celebrities start to delete things on their social media accounts, it always raises eyebrows. Then there's some speculation about other celebrities that knew. They have pictures of LeBron James with Diddy. I mean, this picture down here is, I think they're just trolling. That's obviously not them. But LeBron, Meek Mill, what else here? Megan Fox. Now they're saying that Megan Fox has deleted all of her tweets. I don't know if that's true. I haven't seen that. And Kevin Hart, apparently. So there are rumors that many celebrities knew what was going on with Diddy. Here's a little clip of Mike Tyson moving Diddy's hand away from his leg in a 1998 TV show. We don't really know much else about that, but a lot of these things really make you think. Like, it makes you ask the question, how many of these celebrities knew what was going on, or at least had an inkling of what was happening? So what's the latest with Diddy's case? There's the headline, 1,000 bottles of baby oil and freak off. Sean Diddy Combs and the rise of his, quote, criminal enterprise. There's a lot of info here about what is happening with this case. Diddy is 54 years old now. He's engaged allegedly in alleged arson, kidnapping, forced labor, bribery, obstruction of justice, and sex trafficking. So they talked about his carefully curated reputation. He has strenuously denied all wrongdoing, but the filings were quickly followed by a bi-coastal raid on his properties amid a tight-lipped federal investigation. So the footage was proof that his denials have been false all along. There's a lot of info here. And of course, it gets into the legendary Labor Day Hamptons white parties, where everybody at the party wore white. Head to toe, they wore white clothes. But there's a lot of talk here about illegal gun possessions, him abusing, threatening, coercing people to fulfill his sexual desires. And again, like I said earlier, the footage of him brutally beating an ex-girlfriend. This is my question. Many questions, but my biggest one is this. How did it take 30 years to finally bring Diddy down? Does that sound right to you? This is how corrupt the industry of Hollywood is. They knew. Many people knew. You can probably count tens of people, if not more, celebrities, singers, artists, managers, executives. Everyone knew what Diddy was doing. Many of them had been to his parties. They had seen things firsthand. And a lot of influential people could have stepped up and put a stop to it a long time ago, or could have at least brought it to the authorities a long time ago. We don't even know. Maybe some authorities knew about it and they let it slide because of whatever powerful connections they wanted to keep. They could have stopped him from preying on minors and vulnerable women and drugging people and abusing people. And yet they did nothing. But this is Hollywood in a nutshell. It's all just smoke and mirrors. They just want to make it seem like the most glamorous thing in the world when really there is a host of incredibly degenerate stuff happening behind the scenes. And apparently now Diddy is on suicide watch and he is still denying all the allegations, but it really makes you question what has happened to these child stars like Justin Bieber. I have a feeling one day, a long time down the line, probably when he was much older, he's probably going to come out and expose a lot of the things that were done to him. Say what you want about Justin Bieber. I've always found him to be a really talented kid. Amazing voice, a great artist, and it makes me so sad that a kid who was originally just posting videos on YouTube to kind of show his talent and just sing, he obviously has a love for singing, he was taken by the industry and he was spit out and made out to be this just crazy addict who was misbehaving all the time, when in reality, I believe him to be a victim. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section. Was there anything else about the Diddy case that really stood out to you? Anything that you want me to do a deep dive on? Because there's a lot here. We could spend an entire episode going through the allegations that have been brought forth by to Diddy, but you know, that would take a whole other video because there's a lot there. So thank you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and share the video if you liked it. And we'll see you on the next one. Bye.